Hey, it is Darren, and I am coming to you from Griffintown in Montreal, where I live. Just several hundred feet away, I guess, from where I live on the other side of the Lachine Canal, just passing by a volleyball court here, one of the many beautiful parks along the canal. Just watching my feet because I haven't done a walking and talking video in quite some time. And there are definitely more people out and about walking, but here's this Anglo speaking on his camera. But then isn't everybody always seemingly talking to themselves with headphones in these days? Movement and wellness. I used to do this a lot, these videos, walking and talking, off the cuff, or just preparing a few notes, and I've got some notes here with me. I think really well while I'm moving. It's just a part of who I am, I guess, having grown up a little bit labeled ADHD and figured out how to manage that. But moving and thinking, I have a lot of clarity. I may go off on a long tangent, but here we are. So I published an article this week. I am just crossing the pathway with cyclists and such. And I quoted a verse or a chapter from the Tao Te Ching, chapter 9, the Stephen Mitchell translation, "Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity." That's the last two lines. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. It's this idea of when is enough, and the avoidance of getting trapped in perfection or too much polish. There's nothing wrong with polish. There's nothing wrong with making something really beautiful and shiny, to use metaphors, taking the time to, if you're doing woodworking, to use a metaphor, to just get various degrees of sandpaper that are finer and finer, so that when you touch the wood with your hand, it's almost cold because it's so smooth, right? But the problem with polish and perfection is that, if you don't know when is enough, you won't know when to stop. That's what holds a lot of people back from doing whatever it is they want to accomplish. And I want to associate this with your dream. Now, your dream could be your big goal, the big difference you want to make in the world, but it can also accomplish or relate to all of that which you want to enjoy and experience in your life. But if you're like me and you're following me, then you're most likely a leader who is queer and is concerned to lead with integrity, conviction, and to be a change maker for the betterment of humanity, to try and fix things, not to enforce fixing, but to help others recognize that maybe the way in which they're leading themselves in their life is harming not only themselves, but far too many others. And finding that common ground so that we can build those bridges towards a more accepting and understanding and loving humanity, right? So don't mind me, just crossing the way again. So dream for me is one of my philosophical coaching principles that I work with my clients about. And it's an acronym. DREAM stands for desire, render, emotion, alignment, and method. And I may go, well, you know what, I'm going to tell you what all those things are anyway, and I do have it written down. So your desire, what do you really want? And why is that so important? Why is that so necessary and meaningful to you? Render means, are you bringing your dream to life in a way that's natural for you? Natural, easy, efficient, and effective, okay? So you're not forcing yourself to do it. You almost wake up and think, this is work I love to do. If I could keep doing this for the rest of my life, it wouldn't feel like work. That's what render means in this sense. And emotion, are you emotionally empowered or drained? That's the thing. Often we wake up and we're like, fucking hell, I don't want to do this shit anymore. That's no longer a dream of yours? Or You have too much other bullshit happening in your life. And by bullshit, I mean things that you're ignoring. You're not taking care of, alleviating, delegating, getting rid of, or realizing that you're doing too much of. Going back to this idea of when is enough enough. Alignment. This is key. Are your systems, your schedule, and your energy working with you or against you? Oftentimes people follow this stupid bullshit of you got to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. and have a morning routine to do all these things. What happens if you're a night owl? So many night owls are completely the opposite of morning people. I'm a morning person. I'm most creative in the morning. What I love about mornings and being creative in the mornings is if I don't open my iPad, if I don't read the news, I'm not distracted by all of that garbage. And I'm not saying what's happening in the world is garbage, but what I mean is it's garbage in my brain. It's trash in my brain that's taking me out of the moment of creating something really important and meaningful and useful for others to grasp, to help them make a meaningful difference in their own lives and in the lives of others. So when I seize on that without other distractions, when I'm in that morning state of mind, I forget what state of mind that's called, like there's alpha state and these different types of states, but that's the most creative for me. But I just had a conversation when I was in Toronto last week with the waiter serving us. And of course, he's more of a late night person because they work late. So he's like, yeah, after hours, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's when I'm most creative. I'm up for a couple of hours making my thing. Amazing. And finally, M for method. Do you have a sustainable self-care approach to your dream? That's kind of all of the above. Like, do you know when you do what kind of work, what day of the week, what time of the day? So at the moment, my Mondays are dedicated to creative output, to creativity. Why was I having trouble saying that word? I'm gonna turn around and head back here. And why? Because I've had the weekend to rest. I've had the weekend to say, enough, recover, take care of yourself. Even if I'm doing something like this is a Saturday, but I really wanted to start some videos. I really wanted to get back into this walking, talking, thinking aloud, recording, off the cuff, giving you a little bit of additional information, a very personal perspective, a very lived perspective. So Monday, I wake up and I'm ready. Nothing else is in my way. No appointments. Nada. Like, if I'm gonna take appointments, it's in the afternoon. Because I can sometimes get up, do my morning business, have my coffee, go to the bathroom, have some water. And besides making breakfast and eating it, I can literally go till 11:30 or noon many days, just so I've dropped right into flow state. Because I've primed my environment. I've got rid of all the bullshit and the distractions so that I won't be thinking about anything else other than the task I've prepared myself, or tasks I've prepared myself to do, specifically writing or creative output tasks. And just a note, part of my method is I thought about those things the day before. I prepared some of them. I created some outlines. I put the ideas into my head before going to bed. Not to disrupt my sleep, but just to prime my brain for creative activity so that when I get up, I don't have to spend a distracting, willpower draining energy determining what it is I'm going to do. I already know. I already know is a kind of enough. I already know how to do my work and then step back. So the Sunday night, as I cross the path again so I don't get hit by a bike, on the Sunday night I do my work, which is preparation, priming the creative brain, and then I step back because I've done enough. Monday for the whole morning till between breakfast and lunch, or between getting up and lunch, is solid, but it's not forced. It's a fluid? It is a flowing, creative, natural state for me. Now, coming back to dream as the word, my dream life, my dream business, That's how I'm creating it. There are many other strategies, of course, in my coaching philosophy, but when it comes to the dream principle, it's those 5 elements, right? My desire, how I render that desire, my emotional state, my alignment with all of those things, and then my method to pull it all together in a clean, natural, authentic, free sort of way, so that I can show up, create, communicate, engage, interact, and hopefully inspire other leaders like yourself to use your wisdom and your skills and your guidance to lead and inspire others. Those people who are waiting to hear from you, for you to make a difference. What do you think?